Birds can be goofy, smart, and even straight-up devious little turds, but some are also just freakishly good at taking names. Starting off with one of my personal favorites, the beautiful killer that is the secretary bird. This bird literally specialized in curb stomping, but instead of cracking skulls, it folds snakes, or actually pretty much whatever they deem to be a stompable size, and their stomp is a literal Avengers-level threat to anything the size of your hand. This raptor's kicks have been measured at around 195 newtons, which is roughly 5 times its own body weight. Their stomps are also extremely fast, the actual impact only lasting about 15 milliseconds, which means that even hecking cats with their ungodly reaction speeds would probably not be quick enough to process the situation before getting curb stomped by a big-ass chicken. So, for a rodent, snake, or any other pocket-sized little snack on the African savannah, it's basically certain death. Now, despite looking like a hecking emu that went through a little looks-maxing phase, they are indeed true birds of prey. They are actually considered to be the tallest raptor in the world, standing at around 4 feet tall. And yes, they can actually fly, but their preferred hunting method is to simply walk menacingly across the grassland until they find something to stomp the shit out of. And at the end of the day, these birds do not simply find a bush to sleep in like some hobo. They actually fly up into trees, where they actually build massive nests high above the ground. So even though they might look more like a flightless bird such as the emu or cassowary, they are a lot more closely related to eagles and falcons. Speaking of eagles, the next candidate here today is no other than the golden eagle. And out of all the birds I'm going to feature here today, this is probably the most impressive one when it comes to their prey selection. Because these flying reapers will literally hunt anything, no matter the size or position in the ecosystem. But what makes their hunting strat so brutal is the fact that they have learned to weaponize gravity. One of the more famous examples of this is probably this clip of one dragging a freaking goat off the side of a cliff. While this is one of the few documented cases of this, at least in video form, it's not a one-off event, as this has been witnessed numerous times over the years. Now being a freaking bird going after and taking down a big-ass goat must be some sort of flex in the bird world for sure. But to be honest, that's not the most impressive thing these guys go after, because another prey they are infamous for taking down is foxes. And if you know anything about foxes, you would know that this is a flipping predator, some even being specialized in hunting other birds. So the fact that a bird like the golden eagle even considers this to be a potential meal is beyond comprehension. Even still, we have so many videos and images of this happening that I can't really do any other conclusion than this being a rather common occurrence. So in terms of raw hunting power, the golden eagle is likely the top dog among its peers. Moving on, we have something much smaller, the shrike. Now, this might just look like any other wholesome small sparrow-type bird, but this bird has one of the most diabolical ways of dispatching its prey. The shrike will not simply send you to the other side and just eat you like any normal bird. No, these birds have something far more sinister up their feathers. You see, these birds are best known for literally hanging up their prey like gosh darn Christmas ornaments. And they do this by impaling them onto thorns or sharp branches or just straight up metal wires. Mice, lizards, insects, basically anything they can overpower will get the opportunity to experience this fate. While this might seem extreme to us, even maybe a little evil, it's really not. They do this simply because it's practical. You see, shrikes actually have a bit of an equipment problem. Even though they might hunt like raptors, they are not built like raptors. They do not have the giant crushing talons of an eagle or hawk, so once they catch something, they need another way to hold it still while they tear it a new one. So instead of pinning prey down with knife-like talons, they use thorns, branches, cactus spines, or barbed wire as nature's own little butcher hooks, which is also why they are sometimes called butcher birds. And these impaled animals are not always eaten right away. Sometimes the shrike is literally storing food for later, creating a little murder pantry it can come back to when it gets hungry. And in some cases, males may even use these corpse collections to show off to females, because apparently nothing says romance like a dead mouse kebab picnic. So while the golden eagle weaponizes gravity, this bird basically invented meal prep from hell. Next up, we have probably the family of birds with the most diverse and high IQ plays in regards to hunting. But before we jump into all that, I want to give a huge thank you to my most loyal supporters. Now, the Patreon here is rather new, but we are growing fast, so if you want to join a nice little animal community, get an open chat with me and a lot of extra behind-the-scenes stuff, like this story about my hecking European badger skull, or the story of when I caught a gosh darn lizard on vacation, then a sign-up would be much appreciated. You can simply scan the QR code on screen, or just click the link in the description. Either way, hope to see some of you there. Anyways, the heron family is basically the Zoldycks of the bird world, and if you did not get that reference, it basically means that they are all highly skilled assassins with very unique sets of life-cancelling skills. And we actually have over 70 different species of herons, so the list of unique hunting styles is long and extremely interesting. This black-crowned night heron, for example, uses gosh darn bait in order to lure in fish. It will basically toss in a piece of meat, or even a piece of bread, then stand completely still, staring into the water with an intensity only matched by my border collie when spotting a cat across the street, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Although, not every hunt is as successful. This one even got outplayed by a gosh darn sidewalking crab, and judging by how much food the crab is holding, this has probably happened quite a few times already, which is rather embarrassing to be honest. Now, I have actually had a personal experience with one of these fish-baiting herons myself, not 100% sure which species this was, but it used the same strat. Although this one was slightly more advanced. This happened in a zoo on Tenerife while I was on vacation, and they had these dispensers you could buy food for the turtles in the pond. And this shameless freeloader basically just waited for people to feed the turtles because it also attracted some fish, which is of course what it was after. But this one as well had no luck, as there were just too many turtles in the water. Kinda hard to see on the video since they reflected so much, but there was a lot of them here. But this fish baiting strat is just one of many used by the heron family. Next we have the black heron, which I can see from the post from a few days ago. There were some misconceptions about, although some of your suggestions were indeed hilarious. This bird, however, is not just being aggressively shy or awkward. It's actually deploying one of the more advanced fishing strats I've seen from a bird. It's basically forming a little dark spot in the water, which the fish then believes is a safe little cover to snuggle up under. But in reality, the fish are entering an instant death zone instead. So while they look rather goofy while doing it, is probably generating more results than the bait birders. And before you go on to believe that the herons are all these small little fishing birds, well, most herons are actually long-legged murder machines. Some of them, like the Goliath heron, are just massive. And these larger specimens eat literally anything. Their beak is a powerful weapon, enough to take souls in all shapes and sizes. Some even go after snakes or other smaller animals. As long as something can fit down its throat, it's fair game to a heron. These larger herons are also rather territorial and will not hesitate with engaging in some old-fashioned fisticuffs if need be. So overall, the heron family is just a really dope bloodline of birds. The last bird for today is also one of my personal favorites, the kingfisher. They look dope as heck, and as its name suggests, they are absolute demons when it comes to fishing. These guys might not have any over-the-top hunting strats like the herons or the golden eagle, but the way these guys hunt is just so elegant and classy that I could not help myself but to include them. They will basically stake out a pond or slow-moving river from a tactical branch positioned in a favorable manner, giving them a clear view of everything going on below the surface. They will then lock onto a specific fish and basically start a dive bomb straight from hell. And what makes this even crazier is that water basically lies to your eyes. Because of refraction, the fish is not exactly where it appears to be from above the surface. So, the kingfisher has to literally correct for a visual illusion while launching itself face first into the water, hitting the surface at around 25 miles per hour, or roughly 40 kilometers per hour. Then grabbing the fish with honestly rather paranormal accuracy. Because these fish are also pretty small, even for the kingfisher, but after acquiring the loot, they swim back up and bash the heck out of the fish against a rock or something before enjoying a feather-licking meal. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, then please do consider commenting your favorite part down below. Anyways, I guess I will see you next Saturday.